The jury got to see videos of the freak-offs for the first time, and it wasn't pretty. Hi, I'm Melba Pearson, also known as the Resident Legal Diva, and it is time for another Daily Diddy, bringing you daily trial updates from the P. Diddy trial until we get a verdict. So in a quick wrap-up from yesterday, apparently the jury saw the freak-off tapes for the first time. They saw clips of it, not not an entire video, but just kind of clips of a few different videos. And the way that they were able to see it was that they had headphones and individual television. So it was not broadcast for the entire courtroom to see. The only people who were able to see it were the jurors. Apparently they you could see they visibly reacted, and it was, yeah. So I'm very curious to know how that's going to factor in and if that's given any indication as to who's pro and who's against. And in other procedural cleanup things today, Brendan Paul, who, as you may remember, is the drug mule that got arrested in Miami for getting drugs for Diddy, was set to testify. He got on the stand, much like a couple other witnesses, and invoked his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. Government did the same thing. The prosecution did the same thing as they did with other witnesses. As long as he testifies truthfully, he won't have a problem. Also, the judge got real hella mad and cussed out basically both the defense and the prosecution because there were aspects of a hearing that was closed to the public that somehow made it out to an online blog. So he was like, clearly there was only a few people in this room and one of y'all did it. So he's like, if there's any more leaks, don't care what happened, lead counsel, y'all responsible. So get your life right. Whoop! You never want to hear that from a judge. So contempt, not a good look. So back on the testimony today, we had the cross-examination of Special Agent Penland, who did not work on the actual investigation, but was responsible basically for collating and looking at the volumes of evidence, and was really critical in laying out how the flight records support the fact that Bad Boy Entertainment, the broader company, was paying for these flights for sex workers to go from one city to the other to engage in prostitution as part of the freak-off. So she was talking about this on the stand. Now remember, she's a special agent attached to the U.S. Attorney's Office. On cross-examination, defense was like, oh, I'm going through all of this and you missed, this particular incident or freak off, and you missed this other aspect, and oh, by the way, you didn't list every single person that was present, basically to say that the government was slack in the way that they went about the investigation. So the agent pushed back listen, I only analyzed what was given to me. So you got an issue, take it up with them. And also part of the cross-examination was going through different text messages between Cassie and Diddy, showing oh, they were loving, oh, she was a willing participant in the freak-offs, all of that. As we well know, a text is only a snapshot in time. It doesn't tell the full story. And, again, just because he wasn't beating her every day doesn't mean there wasn't abuse and there wasn't a problem. So whatever. But that was the crux of their cross-examination. So other thing that we found out today is that the prosecution could possibly rest tomorrow. So that's kind of massive. And the defense case is probably going to take 2 to 5 days. So we're likely going to get to closing arguments by the end of next week. And we're going to possibly have a verdict again, maybe sooner than July 4th. That's the wrap up for today. Thanks for tuning in. See you tomorrow. Bye.